few weeks ago, I watched a couple of videos online, videos showing young adults and teenagers not being able to read. And I think you know exactly what kind of videos I'm talking about because I believe they went viral for a reason. And watching those videos was truly devastating to me. And not just devastating, I am just not able to understand it. I don't get how the things like this are happening. I mean, just the fact that teenagers and young adults are not able to read the written sentence and comprehend it, it's crazy. But before I get into this, I have to tell you that I am European and I never studied anywhere else apart from Europe, so I cannot really judge any educational systems in any other countries but my own. And I'm not here to shame any of those kids or any of those schools or any of those educational systems. I'm just here to tell you my story. And I don't even know why I have the need to tell you this, but I'm carrying this idea in my head since I watched those videos, and I was secretly hoping that it will disappear, but I think it's still there. That's why I just need to talk about it. So the thing is, I started my reading journey when I was 3. I was 3 years old when I learned how to read. And it's not something I would say just to show off how smart I am. My parents didn't even try to teach me how to read. And I did it only because my sister went to school. She was 6, so she started school and she was learning how to read, and she was reading at home, and she would trace her tiny little finger on those pages, and I would just sit next to her and she would read aloud. And that's how I learned to read, because I was just following her. And I guess I just wanted to do this cool stuff because I was a kid and I was bored because I didn't have internet, I didn't have video games, I didn't go out much. But I think that's the thing, that's the difference. Obviously, the times are different now. Kids nowadays have so many things, they have so many entertainment, they have so many hobbies. And I was just a kid who was mostly sitting at home and was surrounded by books. So obviously, I wanted to do this cool thing. I wanted to read. I wanted to write. I wanted to do something different. I mean, apart from playing with my toys and whatever, and doing puzzles, I guess. and me learning to read by myself was actually a big surprise to everyone around me, because no one made an effort to do that. No one made an effort to teach me, but of course my parents were very proud. But the story is not about that. I'm not here to brag that I'm reading since I'm 3. Yay, cool, good for me. I'm actually here to talk about the schooling situation, because I went to school when I was 5 years old. All the rest of the kids were 6. But my parents decided that I'm ready, and to do that, to enter the first grade of school, I had to pass the interview with a school director and like a bunch of teachers. So they were sitting around and I was talking to them, and we were discussing all my knowledge and all my skills and if I was actually ready to start school. I don't know if every other child was going through that, but it was a serious test, because I remember being so nervous, because I knew that if I didn't pass this test, if I don't prove to all those teachers that I know basic stuff, and by basic stuff, I actually mean letters, numbers, shapes, colors, whatever. There was like tons of things. They didn't want me to know how to read, but I think I had to know at least like letters, alphabet. And I knew for a fact that if I don't pass that test, I would not get into school. So I have to start school the other year. So of course, I wanted to start school because once again, I was a bored child. But my parents also wanted me to start school earlier, because it would mean that they'll get rid of me for at least half of the day, I guess. And spoiler alert, I started school when I was 5, and most of the kids in my class were 6 already, so I was the youngest kid in the class for so many years. The fun moment is, by the age of 5, my reading skills were so advanced. I actually was like, I was reading very fast and very brief. It was effortless for me. So just a couple of months into the first grade, my mom was doing my homework with me, and she did every single night, because she was a stay-at-home mom and she was actually taking care of her kids and she was taking care of our education. She was very invested in this. I love to joke that basically I was homeschooled but I was actually going to the school, so I received double education. And the thing is, one of the nights she heard me reading aloud, and she was shocked because she realized that my reading became slower. Because I was in class with all the kids who were just learning how to read. Apparently, I decided to mimic all those kids, so I started reading slower, and I actually reduced my reading skills by myself because I wanted to blend in. I wanted to match the crowd that I was surrounded with. So my mom actually made a decision, and she took me off the first grade of school, and she homeschooled me until the end of the year because she didn't want me to lose the progress. So basically, I skipped most of the first grade, and then I returned to the second grade. And the reason why I'm talking about this after watching all those videos, yes, there is a reason behind it. I was actually wondering how those kids got into the school without being able to read. How did they pass the first grade without learning how to read? How did they finish high school without knowing how to read? And at this point, I'm trying not to blame anyone, but I really want to blame everyone. Because first of all, we have all those teenagers and young adults who have absolutely zero interest in reading, and they think that they don't actually need it in their life. Second of all, we have those parents who didn't bother to teach their kids how to read, or at least to control the progress of their kids, the learning curve of reading. And also, apparently, they didn't get their kids interested in reading. They probably didn't read them overnight. They didn't talk about books with them. They didn't raise the basic interest in reading. And third, we have all those high schools and universities who kind of let this issue go because apparently it's not necessary for kids to read. So they kind of like, okay, whatever, let them be like they are. We are not here to teach them anything. And this is so confusing to me because this issue has so many layers. And yes, I know that people will tell me, oh, the times are so different from when you were a kid because it was so many years ago. But yeah, it was different. Yeah, as I said, I didn't have internet, I didn't have video games. I was not an iPad kid. I had my books, I had my board games, and I have outdoors to play with other kids, which I rarely did, but still. So of course I was surrounded by books and I was curious. And my parents would read me all the time, and we had reading culture back at home. We had a huge library. My mom was not a reader herself, but she was a book collector. She was a book hoarder. My mom was always saying that she is buying all those books for my dad because he apparently was a reader in the family. But for my entire childhood, I've seen my dad reading one book and it was his favorite book. And I think he read it like 5 times, but I never seen him touching every single book of that library. That's why I decided that I will be a reader in the family and I will read that entire library because it was my personal challenge and I was a curious kid. The parents don't need to be passionate readers to actually raise this desire in kids. I still have no idea why I'm making this video and why I'm talking about all those things. Probably because the reading world is so beautiful. It's such a huge getaway. It's just so enormous and it's so inspiring and it's so beautiful. And I guess it just hurts me that those kids probably will never understand how does it feel to be a part of it. And there is a reason why I read a lot, why I review books, why I wrote books by myself, because I just want to share this world with everyone around me. And the fact that those kids, teenagers, young adults are not being able to be a part of this world, it actually hurts me because it feels like they were just stripped out of that. And I don't know how to fix this issue because, as I said, it's very complicated. I guess I just want everyone to do better in the end of the day because I don't know which kind of generation we are raising if our adults eventually won't be able to read. Sorry for the messy video, but I had a lot of thoughts to share. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I do love reading and I do love books and I talk about them a lot. So if you're on the same boat, follow me. We'll have fun. Thank you for watching.